the resources and the slides as well. We've done over 100 of them. I think we're at 150 now, and topics related to all kinds of things, teaching with technology, just teaching without technology, teaching through play, teaching with mobile devices. And so today we are going to talk about mobile devices, but feel like you can definitely get ideas and take them and relate them to the classroom. So you're welcome to invite as many people as you want because it's free. You can get your certificate of attendance if you go to the bit.ly ELT links address that I just put inside the chat box. And when you go there, just go to the tab that says download certificates and you'll see the one for July. I try to change this up a bit. I love using mobile devices. Recently, I was in Croatia and Slovenia teaching their students around the country. I was traveling in different schools, and we were working with mobile devices. Now, I was doing bring your own technology, so we were using things like mobile phones, like cell phones, just regular ones, and then we were using, sometimes, a lot of times, I'll also use my iPad, and I love iPad. So I'm going to share with you apps that kind of for different parts of for different types of devices, depending on what you have. Hi, Pilad. Oh, it's so great to see you. Pilad's a good friend of mine, so Faisal as well, and a bunch of people here. Hi, everyone. So it's nice to have you. Go ahead and feel free to share your favorite apps while we're doing this. We will take them and we'll also use them as well. All of the apps I'm going to show you today are free, so there might be some incredibly great apps out there like iBooks. I love iBook Creator. I think it's absolutely wonderful. But it's not free, so that's why I'm not going to show you that one today, but I will show you some others. Now, when I'm talking about the different apps, how do you use apps in class? A lot of teachers ask me that. Well, the ways that I use apps, here's ideas about the ones I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you classroom ideas with them as well and show you the very cool things that they do so you can play with them and you can get excited about them. But you can use them instead of a quiz or a test. A lot of these apps, because they're hands-on and your students create, they're very good for getting their critical thinking, and they're just really wonderful for really having students learn vocabulary, learn how to speak, how to record things. And a lot of tests these days, especially with language learners, hi Daniela, are very, they record the voice, they make the children and even the students, high school and adults and college students take an oral exam. So it's important that with these apps, it's great because they're multimedia. They get the students to listen, they get them to talk, they get them to speak, they get them to play, and the students have a lot of fun with it, but it motivates them that when they're home and they do have their device at home, they can still practice with the apps and they don't have to be connected to the internet. A lot of times when you download, so often when I was in Germany and I was teaching with my iPad, it was me with a classroom full of 10 students from 4 to 6 years old, and then there was another from 8 to 10, and then I taught adults as well. So I would teach from 20 years old all the way to 80 years old. And I would often it would be my iPad, and we would use the app with everyone. So if you only have one device, you can do that as well. It personalizes vocabulary for them because the great thing is that you can record video. Even with a regular cell phone, you can record video, you can take pictures, you can use the audio recording feature. And so when they go home, they can take pictures with their mobile device, or they can add to like Quizlet or something like that, or they can add vocabulary. They can retell chapter events. So if you're teaching from a book, it's a great way to, at the end of the chapter, you can always give them an activity where they have to summarize and do something with the chapter knowledge that they just learned. And that way you get them to review. They can create dialogues. They can take two characters from a book and recreate a conversation or a scene. And they can imagine what kind of dialogue would take place. A lot of times our students are very shy, so when they are together, they may not be so ready to talk in English with each other and have a conversation in front of other people in the classroom. But if you give them a very cool app where they can talk to each other, they would love to do that, and they do that. They speak a lot of English that way. They can apply difficult concepts. So, for example, if we're going to see some math apps. Math is very difficult for language learners. I've taught CLIL before, and I've taught CLIL science, and I've taught CLIL history. And when it's very difficult, I've taught biology and physics. So a lot of times these difficult concepts, you can learn them better and easier, and you can really see them visualized in what they do in an app. They can review for a test, and then they can present research. Now, this is actually from my classroom when I was teaching in Slovenia. So these were some of the students that I worked with. Was it Croatia? I think that might have been Croatia, actually. So you can, oh, actually, that was Slovenia. Okay, so you can choose which apps. When you're choosing apps and you want them to spark their creativity, have fun with it. And that's one of the great things that I love about this quote over here. What Einstein says, a genius, one of the smartest men in the world, smartest human beings that ever existed, said creativity is intelligence having fun. So these apps are not only sparking creativity, but you and your students will have a lot of fun. They'll have tons of fun using these different apps. When I choose apps where they can draw, where they can create text, where they can record audio, where they can add their own drawings, their images, and their videos. When I work with young learners, it's very important that I can go around and I can take pictures of their drawings. So I like to mix them painting or drawing and creating. Maybe they create with clay and things like that, with the cool things that you can do with a mobile device. There's a lot of things that you can do, many publication options with them as well. So when you look at an app, when I looked at these apps, I saw, okay, can they post this with a private link? Can they post this on YouTube? And then, because YouTube, you can make the video private later. Can they post this on a wiki? Can they embed it on a blog? So these are all ways that I want to see what the app does, how they can share it, because that's very important too. And the reason why sharing is so important is because I want the parents to know that their child is speaking English, using English, learning English. Is very important. So I create wikis and then I'll embed these. One of the best, this is not particularly an app, but it works with all devices. You can use this with the iPad. You can use this with Android. It's a lot like StoryKit, but it's better. And this is called InfusedLearning.com. Infused Learning is so amazing. What it allows you to do is, for free, your students can take quizzes that have to do, they can take drawing quizzes. So that's why I think that it sparks creativity. So for example, let's say you're teaching CLIL science or something, or let's say that you're teaching, and you're teaching geometric shapes, and you are teaching, so I teach all of you, for example, on my Infused Learning, I can teach you, I can say, okay, well, I want you to draw an octagon. Then each of you could draw an octagon. I could say something, I can make him even more creative by saying, draw any geometric shape that you see around you, and we'll try and guess what that geometric shape is. So that's one way that you can use Infused Learning. What it does is it gives you a teacher login, okay? So you can do other options as well. They have games you can make. You can do multiple choice tests. You can do true and false. You can do open-ended essays, and you get all of your students' response. You can see them right away. So it's really just a fantastic way to get your students to think. And when you get them to draw, that's so much easier than just telling them from a book, okay, this is the vocabulary. Let's say we're doing animals, and let's say I want you to draw animals that live in a cold region. Then that would be one quiz or something like that. So after they learn vocabulary like that, they can do this drawing thing, and then it ends up being really fantastic. So that's definitely something that you want to check out. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, so I'm going to show you the next Now, the next are a few apps. So it doesn't matter if you have Android or if you have Chromebooks or anything like that. It's really great. And Floyd has used it before, and he says he loves it. Oh, Mariana! Hello. Hi, Felix. Hi. NightZooKeeper.com. NightZooKeeper.com is a wonderful, beautiful app on the iPad. But if you don't have the iPad, then that's okay, because with NightZooKeeper.com, it is online as well. The great thing is that it gives you different types of lesson plans for students as well. Ooh, you might tell him, Mariana, that there is a Minecraft app that's free. I just discovered it the other day. Let me show you what Night Zookeeper does, because I think it's absolutely amazing. Their app is called, they have a whole thing for teachers. You can register for free. You can give them projects. They give you one-day projects. They give you long-term projects. They give you so many different ideas. It is one of the most creative, the creative apps that I have ever seen. I think it's absolutely amazing. The kids that I had adopted, one's autistic, he's 9 years old, and he loves this app. He's always drawing with it, and you can do that. So what it does is, the Night Zookeeper sort of looks like this, okay? And then you go to these stars, and these stars, they're challenges. So you get a challenge, and let me show you what the book looks like.
Hello, good evening. I'm the Night Zookeeper, and you must be my new recruit. It is very dark here in the night zoo. Can you help me? I need you to roar as loud as you can, because that is what powers this magical drawing torch.
Okay, so you can kind of see what it says there. It's a story, and it takes you on this adventure. And what you do is you go through these different challenges with this story, with the zookeeper. So we're going to go to the missions. And it reads to the students. It also has the vocabulary laid out, so that's very good for language learners. We're going to see what it does in the first one. So in the first one, it actually has where it says, welcome to the night zoo. This is what it looks like, so you can see it here. So we get on mission 1. And you can do this on the web as well. So if you don't have an iPad, that's fine, and it is free. You can draw a magical animal. It says, monsters attack. Oh no, monsters have attacked the zoo and stolen some of the tools. I need your help. Can you use the drawing? So they have to draw pictures. And it says to draw a picture of a strange and magical animal to defeat the monsters. This is what Stephen did. He drew this monster right here. So the students draw the monsters. They get to name the monsters. They can upload this online with other students and see their monsters as well. You're going to make movies in class. Well, if you're going to make movies in class, then you can use your mobile device and download free apps to make movie effects. I'm going to show you what this looks like, okay? So these are my absolute favorite. I'll show you just the Quo. There's one that has for Quo movie effects is my favorite, but this one has for dinosaurs. What it does is it saves the clip. So you're only making the clip so you can add it to a bigger movie. So let's say that you just took regular movie with your cell phone. You didn't use an app or anything. You don't need an app. Well, when you use these apps, though, you can make one scene that ends up having these special effects, and then you can add it to a bigger scene. So I'm going to show you the Quo one. If I find it, where are you, Quo? Okay, I'm show you what this does because it's so cool. It's very, very cool. You're going to have a lot of fun just using this on your own. The other day, poor Roscoe, I was exploding Roscoe a bit. So he's always mine. So I'll show you what. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You can see it here. You have the special effects, and it gives you a few free ones. And there are others you have to pay for, but I like the free ones, so you can do that. I'm going to do the Bomb Blast. So I just choose Bomb Blast. They have a Ghostbuster one too. And it previews the effect. Well, I kind of like that effect, so I'm going to choose it. Now it's initializing the camera. You can see me in the camera. Here I am. Okay, so now I'm going to record, because you have to record with the scene, and say, hello, hi, it's recording a video right now. I have to do at least 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. I'm going to use it. You have to record with the scene and say, hello, hi, it's recording a video. Okay, so it's registering the scene right now. So they'll be ready in just a second. But you can do really cool. There's slow motion, things like that. It's really cool. So we'll see this in just a little bit. But while we're doing that, to put them together, so the problem becomes after you have your scene, you want to put it together with the rest of your movie. Your students are going to want to. So they can do this as a group project, and then they can add the effect. You have to record the okay. Hello, hi, it's recording. So did you see my movie there? Let's do that again. You have to record with me. Hello, hi, it's recording. So it just exploded me. You can add dinosaurs and all kinds of very, very cool things. Let's see if I can show you the one that it did with Roscoe, which I thought was kind of funny, that I exploded Roscoe there. I don't know if he thought it was so funny, but, you know. Let's see here. Oh, no, it just took... to just take the effect. Okay, well maybe I can't find it anymore. It was here, but I don't know what it's... Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure where it is, but there was an exploding Roscoe at some point in time. Sorry about that, but you kind of get the idea. Well, you can use Video Editor, and Video Editor allows you to put different clips together, so you can put your movie together. You can arrange and merge your videos. You can add music. You can add voice. You can trim, and you can edit, and it's free. It's called Vid Editor Free for the iPad. Now, all of these links, you might say, oh, well, you know, how am I going to get all these links? Don't worry about it, because at the end, I'm going to give you a link that has all of these links to it. The next game app that I really love is TinyTap. And TinyTap is this fantastic app. It allows students to make their own personalized it's their own personalized quizzes. So they're touch quizzes as well. And TinyTap, the way it works is they can upload their own pictures, and when they upload their own pictures, they can make these quizzes. They have various options and stuff like that, and they can email them to other students. I find that when I get my students to make a game or a quiz with the information that I was going to test them on, they do so much better. They remember the different types that's with it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this one, the Beatles. This is one a kid created. And you can see how she uploaded the different types of pictures. These were pictures she took. It comes with music as well. So it says, Gusto, what am I gonna like? Maybe sweet. Woohoo! We got it right. So we got a balloon. Alfalfa. So which one should we press for alfalfa? Well, it's just dactyl. So we got to touch. So you see the cool effects that you can do, and it comes with music. You can email it to others as well. Bookabee. Bookabee is one of the best book apps there are out there. You have 2D and 3D characters that actually move and rotate. Your students can move and rotate them by doing it with with their finger movement. They can add text. They can add speech bubbles. They can add stickers. They can use their own photos. It has various scenes, so that way they can pick and choose. So whenever, for example, you're reading a story and you want them to retell the story from a different point of view, let's say you want them to say something like, a memory you had, or your favorite place to travel, or a book about you. They can make a book about them. Then this is a great app to use. It's one of my favorites. They can either save it to iTunes, so it can be part of the iTunes store, and they can have that available for others. And notice how it doesn't show their face or anything. So because of that, it makes it to where it's very safe for young learners and for kids. Kids can use this, and they're not going to give away their name or anything like that. They can record audio that goes along with it as well. And then they can email it or print it as well, so you can make it even better. Story Creator is another app that's very good as well. This is my app that I think is so awesome. That's sort of like iBook Creator, because iBook Creator is so amazing. It's a great app. You can add video, you can add pictures, you can add text, you can draw and color. You can do so much with it. So you can actually draw on the iPad and things as well. And you can record all of this into a very, very cool book. So I think it's one of the best apps that is available out there. Other book I like is Flying Books Kids app. So there's so many apps out there, and even if you look on your Android and things like that, that are going to be really great for kids and teens and students to make books for their to retell a moment in history. Let's say that they're learning about a person in science, like Einstein, and they write a biography about Einstein, or maybe they imagine how Einstein was as a kid, or maybe they retell when Benjamin Franklin invented the kite. So they can do these little moments with these book apps as well. And then they get to have their own personalized book that's online, and they can share with their friends and their family and their parents. And then they can create a little quiz that goes with it, and you can have that kind of assessment. You can use Infused Learning or something like that after they present it, and they can all answer questions about it while the student presents the book in class. So they can, and Flying Books app, they also can listen and read other books. So it gives you a library of free books that you can use with your students. And then they can create their own personalized ebooks. Now, I told you I was going to show you some science and math apps as well. This is one of the science apps. It's called Monster Physics app. So when we use Monster Physics, you get to actually develop your own, here we go. In the light version, you can make your own invention. So you get these little diagrams that you can build off of. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, let's see, part categories. Okay, so here we go. Close. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So we get to build. We have on the side all the things we can build with. And it tells you what, each of these different things. We have wood, we have metal, and then we have gears and things like that. So I can move this around and create with it. Okay, and then the other part of it is, oops, okay, so I'm making this a little bit different. When you do this, you can actually see what it's going to work like. So depending on the part that you put on it, then you will see it move. And so I really like this app because a lot of times you're trying to teach students about physics. You're trying to tell them, well, if they put this wheel there, it's going to go this way. And they don't understand that. Or the propeller is going to make it do something different because of the wind. So they can control it and they can test it out as well. Fairy tales. Well, if you work with fairy tales, then you'll love the fairy tale app. They get to make a fairy tale. They get things like, for example, the wolves and sheep. They get pigs, and then they can record their voice into the fairy tale. They can actually listen to fairy tales as well. Any of the illustrations can be moved or expanded, reduced. You can add text. You can share via iTunes or the internet as well. You can touch characters, and they make a noise, so you can use it with that as well. I'm running a little, I'm trying to get these done. This is the picture book app I love because it has beautiful characters in it. This is as if you were making a huge picture book, but you're making it for free on the computer. Now the picture book app, they just add text and they get to choose characters. So it's sort of almost like a Storybird, but it's the closest to what I found with Storybird, but on the iPad app. So you can use that as well. You might be familiar with Photofunia.com. Photofunia is this incredible site that you will love, and you can do all these special effects to your photos, your personal photos. You can make them into a billboard. You can put them into coffee. So I'm sure you've seen this. Well, this is a free app as well. It's also on the on Android, I believe, as well. And so you can make posters with it, fillers, city lights. But with the app, you can also make a meme. So, for example, you've seen those memes that say, keep calm, and with this app, you can make that kind of meme. So you can add text and different things like that. When you use, another great one is called Image Chef. And the great thing about Image Chef is the same thing. You can add photos. You can make a Wordle. You can make a word cloud with your text and photos as well. You can add it to the background. You can put quotes up here. You can put poetry. There's so many different things that you can do with Image Chef. So this is playing with words and images as well. You can even add video and do really cool effects of video. Now this is all for free, by the way. So here are a few ideas. So these are the students that I was teaching in Slovenia as well. They can make a visual dictionary after they have created the different types of pictures, and they have manipulated them because kids love to do pictures. They love to create and make special effects with their pictures. So when they use Photofunia and when they use Image Chef, then they can make a visual dictionary each week. You can make a theme. You can say, okay, this week's theme, we're at a restaurant. You need to take pictures of anything you'd find in a restaurant, whether it be food, whether it be someone eating, whether it be someone serving. You take a picture of what vocabulary and phrases we'd have in a restaurant, and then you can manipulate them and all that, and then we'll put them together on our wiki or something like that. You can collect the pictures each week that they take. They can use them in digital stories. So let's say they're doing a story about themselves and they want to add a picture that they're a famous movie star and they want to put a board up, then they can do that with Photofunia. They can use it to make memes like the keep, calm, and then they have to come up with the rest, and kids and students love doing memes these days. They can make digital magazines and newspapers, so they can make a really cool picture of themselves that looks famous. And then what they can do is they can put it, let's say they write a news story and it's we were in Paris, and they actually have where you can put your picture of you in Paris. So they can do things like that. They can add it as a newspaper clipping, and then they can write the story that comes with it. They can use it as writing prompts. So for example, you can say, okay, use Photofunia and use the billboard app to create a billboard that people run across, and you have to write what happens when people run across this billboard, or describe your billboard. So you can use it as a writing prompt for a journal. They can post it in a blog. They can, if you use something like kidblog.org or KidBlog, which is a free app, and it's also online and it's free. It's great. I love KidBlog. It's the best, easiest way to blog. You don't need kids' emails. They can just log in. It's really cool. They can use it for advertisements to create very cool commercials or print advertisements as well. My other favorite app, you can make it like a brochure, but this is Mullet. Now, Mullet is not just text and picture. Mullet actually puts transitions for you. So let me go ahead and show you the Mullet app. It's so pretty too. It's just beautiful. I'll show you one that I did really quick. I just took a bunch of pictures, so you can put a bunch of pictures. You can put your title in. You can put your name. Then you swipe it open. And when you swipe it open, you see the effect that it had there. And I could have added text as well. You see the effect that it's doing. You can choose the effect as well. There's little Roscoe. And you make a book, and you can add text but it automatically adds these transitions as well. Your pictures, it's almost like a slideshow. It's almost like the PowerPoint slides as well. It's such a cool book. It's just beautiful. The other app was invented by a teacher. It's called Write About This. So students get pictures. They get two screens. It splits it. So they have what looks like notebook paper where they type in. And then the other screen is a random photo that they are given or that they can choose, or they can even upload themselves. And what it does is then they are prompted to write a story or an essay or anything you want them to write inspired by that particular by that particular drawing as well. Well, that's so cool, Faisal, that you did that. So hopefully you'll have a lot of fun with it. There's so many things you can do with apps and be creative. Another way that students like to be creative is they like to make those flipbooks, where they have the little character and it does 100 things. You can do this also on your mobile device. There are 2 free ones. Animator is the best one. It's Animator free. You have all these drawing tools, so you can make the drawing. You can erase. You can. What it does is it makes it to where you can record several times and make it easier. Flipbook is also another one. I believe they have the Android version as well. If you look up Flipbook, then you'll find it as well. So Flipbook Lite, and you can do the different scenes, and then it turns into a video. You can watch others as well. It turns into a video where it just does the character in his series. They have contests and things like that for students as well. If you love word magnets, which I love word magnets, then you're going to love WordMover. WordMover is a word magnet tool, but it even is better than that because, do I have it here? No. All right. I did have it, but now it's moved. But basically it looks like this. So you can get it. You can add backgrounds. You can add pictures. You make the text bigger. You can put colored text as well. This is a great way to get them to create poetry. And then after they create the poetry, they can recite it. This is a great way to get them started thinking about a speech maybe. They can put jokes on this. They can write a quote on it. They can put dialogue, or that if you want them to focus on some character's dialogue, this is a good way to do it as well. Storylines is a lot like the one that I showed you, the right one. With storylines, you can do SAT words. They have where you can do vocabulary. They have where you can do quotes, and so you can have all these features. You can also draw and things like that as well. And what it does is it gives you a storyline. So it begins the first storyline. The grass is always greener on the other side. So this is obviously a quote that we chose. And then the students add to it. And then they add a drawing or a picture to go along with their writing. So it starts them off. It's a writing prompt app. And then they type in, well, what does that mean? What does the grass is greener on the other side mean? This is an idiom. It's a saying. It's an American saying. What could it mean? And so then they can, it's great to study idioms, phrases. You can put collocations up there as well, and then they can go through the collocations and things like that. So it's good to inspire writing. BookPress is a really great app as well. Look at the cool templates that it has. It has like houses and things like that. The students can add videos. Look at how beautiful that is. It has these beautiful templates that go in the back, so it makes this beautiful book, and it's absolutely free, and it's just gorgeous. They can upload their own pictures as well. I've showed you before in the past the StoryKit app, and you can create a whole entire book. You can add drawings to it. You can add pictures, and you can add voice as well. The thing about StoryKit that I love a lot is it has a lot of classic books. Like it has the Three Little Pigs, Humpty Dumpty, the Three Bears. And what you can do is the International Library has scanned all of these classic books, and then they allow the students to take these books apart and add to them. So they can draw on the pigs, they can tear out pages, but they do this digitally, and they can use this offline as well. So this is really good if you want to tell from a different point of view. Let's say the three little pigs, you're telling it from the side of the wolf. Let's say for Goldilocks and the three bears, you're saying it from the point of view of Papa Bear or Mama Bear or Baby Bear. Or change the ending. You can do something where you tell them to change the ending. Humpty Dumpty, let's say he didn't fall. Let's say he didn't crack. Let's say instead he continued to live. What would be a good ending for it? This is what it looks like. It gives you a private link for your story so you can share with parents. You click on the little box and you can hear the student talking, and they typed in their own test. They can draw whatever they want. They added pictures. This is one where she was talking about her family and their favorite things. She's from Brazil. You can create comics on your mobile device as well. There's a couple of ones for Android that are really good. This one is the best and the free one for iPad and iOS devices, the Zudo comic app. And this is the only one I actually like. You can choose characters, and then you can put different frames, and it looks very cool. You can have superheroes, you can add speech bubbles and everything like that. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Animoto, but Animoto just did some very cool things. So if you go to Animoto.com, this week they just announced on Animoto they got some new templates. They have a globe-trotting template. And the other thing that they had that they just added, this is one of the best. Animoto is definitely one of the best apps for creating videos, and it's something that's on your Android, it's something on your iPad. But the great thing about it is you can add music, and the songs are Creative Commons, so you can use the music from there. Magisto does the same. Magisto is another app that you can use. It does almost the same as Animoto. You can make 30-second videos for free. If you sign up for a teacher account, you can make up to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. So I definitely recommend that. Now Animoto has drag and drop. So if you go to the browser, if you go to Animoto.com and use the browser, your students can actually drag from the desktop their photos. So it makes it easier and better to create videos. Here's some activities you can do when you're making videos. You can create commercials, you can do digital stories, you can do news segments, you can do previews. Now the good thing about Animoto is that you can add clips. So I could always go and I can upload my special effects clip into my Animoto if I wanted to make this really cool, awesome movie. Let's say you wanted your students to pretend they were superheroes and they had to create superhero stories about themselves. So they could add these special effects and they could make a nice, really short movie preview of their new superhero movie. Let's say you're gonna pitch to us the next cool superhero. Okay, so we want you to put a 2-minute preview so we can see which superhero movie we're gonna launch. What's gonna be the next blockbuster of superheroes? So you can do this with Animoto. You can create commercials, previews, digital stories, and you can do news segments. You can have students come and say, "Oh, later, at the school we saw that there was a ghost," because you can have like the Ghostbuster. Who spotted the ghost, and they could pretend to interview one of their other students doing that. You can create interactive images. So Thinglink is one of my favorite tools. It's absolutely free. But the thing about Thinglink is that you can make any of your pictures have links. They can link to YouTube videos. They can link to research. You can do so much. So if you had to do of animals and stuff, you could have it there. Thinglink is now an app. So you make these hotspots on your pictures. You can add text to it, and you can add video. So when you click on that, and I welcome you to go to thinglink.com. So it's an app, but it's also where you can make interactive image posters. So they can make infographics. Infographics are very creative. They're great ways to study math and science. SQQuick, you can draw. You can add up to 7 pictures. One of the things that I did with SQQuick is I had my students create what was called, they did "Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road?" So I took this the Jamie Ketty lesson. They all did drawings. In groups. So they had 7, and they had to explain why did the chicken cross the road. And he had some very good ideas, to visit his parents because there was Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's a popular one. These kids, they're funny. So we made a 7 slide, and it shows all of theirs, and they're saying it. Each group is saying. So I say, why did the chicken cross the road? And then they'll show their drawing in that. SQ Quick is sort of like Photobabble. You can add voice. You can add pictures. I like it better than Photobabble because you add drawings, and it has 7 frames versus the few ones that Photobabble does. Another great app that the students seem to love is Sock Puppets. Sock Puppets is where they can choose different socks, characters. They can have 2 people in a dialogue, 3 socks in the dialogue, just 1 person in a dialogue. They choose the background and scenes. They create a 30-minute video. Ooh, it looks like the ice cream man. Puppet Pals works in the same concept. Puppet Pals, you have to pay for the very cool stuff. So you do have the free, and you do get a few characters with the free stuff. But if you want to upload your own drawings, which I think is awesome and great, then they do have to pay for that feature. Floyd says the 6-year-old uses Sock Puppets. Now, I don't know why I don't have the math zombies on here. I thought he had math zombies, but okay. So there's also various different math apps as well that I obviously forgot to add in here. But I think we've gone through a lot. The way you assess is through rubrics, and Kathy Schrock does the best rubrics. So if you go to schrockguide.net, which is one of the best websites I think there is for technology anyway, and this is Kathy Schrock's website, which is called A Guide to Everything. And Kathy Schrock does have a guide for everything. You'll find more apps, and you'll find plenty of rubrics so you can grade with. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. Now, you can find all of these resources if you go to my Pearl Tree. And I'll go ahead and give you the web address to that, so that way you can go and you can visit and you can click on all these apps and so many more that they have out there that I didn't add. And the reason I didn't add them was because we've already taken a lot of time. So this way you'll be able to do them as well. You'll get to play around with them, and then you'll test which ones your students really love a lot. Let me go ahead and give you the ones for creativity. Okay, so let's get you this link. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat box. If you have any apps that you recommend that you think, oh, this is just an app that I love a lot, and you want to share it with us, then feel free to share it with us right now in the box, and then we'll go ahead and we'll add that. Now, it's one of these links. Sorry, not exactly sure. You can find many mobile learning books, ebooks that are free if you go to the bit.ly mobile learning site that's here. And then don't forget to go to the bit.ly address, because that's going to give you your certificate for attending today. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for being very patient, and thank you so much for visiting. So we're going to go ahead, and I will let you have a great weekend, and hopefully you'll have a lot of creative things to do with your students this summer if you get to use apps, or with just your kids as well. So this way, I like to always test things on my children. They do all the drawings and everything like that, and then I see how I observe how they play with the app, and then I can tell whether it's going to be a good app that they really enjoy or not. So thank you so much, and thank you, Annie, for adding that